The creator of both Galactus and the Silver Surfer is talking about how all these superheroes are either Nephilim or fallen angels. Check this clip out.
For some reason, I went to the Bible. I came up with Galactus. And of course, the Silver Surfer is a fallen angel. And when Galactus relegated him to Earth, he stayed on Earth.
For some reason, I went to the Bible. Is he saying that straight up that Galactus is God?
Yes. Stan Lee famously said, here's the idea. We're going to have him fight God. As you have this looming threat from this God character, the Celestial. And he comes and he's the most powerful being in the universe, right? And he's coming to destroy the Earth. And his herald, Silver Surfer, ends up betraying him, siding with humanity, saving the day. And then Galactus traps the Silver Surfer on Earth. He spares the planet, but he decides to trap the Silver Surfer in the Earth's atmosphere.
The fallen angel fighting God sounds a little bit like Lucifer. Why is every character Lucifer? And all of them. They're all different forms
of the wheel carries 1,400 people. It's very hard to believe any of this. And then how about this? Here's another step. Look at the detail behind the Ferris wheel, right? So when you look at the detail even just behind, look at the domes. Those are Russian domes. You know those little onions you see in Russia? Right over on this. Let me see if I can move my hand right over here. Right here. That's a Russian dome. The Ferris wheel was making $1,400 an hour. $1,400 an hour, right? And it says it's going up in balloon. The ride is 50 cents. So think about this. What do you put in millions of people on a Ferris wheel every single day, and they're just riding it around? It sounds like, you know, it's an interesting story, but check this Ferris wheel. Look at how large that Ferris wheel is. So each little part of that Ferris wheel, each car, this is 1893, and I have to keep repeating 1893 because people are, as I'm showing you, on horse and wagon, but they're building things like this. Each car weighs 13 tons. 13 tons.
About a new breakthrough remedy for eyesight in older folks. An FDA-approved eye drop has just been released, and it's specifically designed for people whose vision is fading with age. What makes it so remarkable is the claim that it can actually reverse eyesight deterioration. Someone who is 70 years old and struggling to read, drive, or even recognize faces could, in time, regain the vision of a healthy 20-year-old. That means sharper details, brighter colors, and the ability to see clearly without relying on thick glasses or constant squinting. The product is called Viz, and it's being hailed as a game changer. Early reports suggest it works by targeting the age-related changes in the eyes that cause blurriness, poor focus, and difficulty seeing in low light. With regular use, it may restore natural clarity that many thought was gone forever. For countless older people, being able to read a book without magnifiers, spot a grandchild waving from far away, or enjoy a sunset in perfect focus could soon become a reality again.
Of course, Google will tell you these inventors were nothing but con men, liars, frauds, or just scientists with great ideas who didn't know any better. It will also tell you zero-point energy is impossible, and anyone who stands up for it or even talks about it is attacked or shamed for spreading misinformation. Google debunkers, compliant NPCs who believe they can irrefutably debunk any extreme claim with a 5-second Google search, truly are the downfall of society. The modern-day version of Vladimir Lenin's useful idiot.
They don't want you to know this. A 2,000-year-old computer was found at the bottom of the sea, and no one can explain how it exists. It's called the Antikythera mechanism. Over 30 bronze gears, built with precision so advanced, it wouldn't appear again until the 1800s. This device could predict eclipses, track planetary movements, and calculate the dates of the Olympic Games with near-perfect accuracy. Mainstream history says ancient people couldn't make gears like this, but X-rays revealed it used differential gearing, a technology lost for over 1,000 years. It could follow the moon's exact 19-year cycle and even correct for its elliptical orbit, something you can't do without deep astronomy knowledge. Some researchers think it's proof of a lost civilization, with technology we've never been told about. Others believe it's alien tech passed down to humanity in the distant past. And here's the chilling part. No other devices like it have ever been found. Not a single one.
For example, it was inspired by a sea cucumber, of all things, and it was built using gallium, which is a metal that can melt at body temperature. This robot can literally liquefy itself, slip through tight spaces, and then reform into its original shape. Why does this matter? Because it means we're entering an era where machines aren't just strong or smart, they're able to shapeshift, escape, regenerate, and survive in extreme conditions. Today, it's a cool experiment, but tomorrow it could be military tech, emergency rescue bots, or even medical nanobots inside our bodies. Would you trust something like this in your house or even near you? Products out there that we consume every day, but do we really know what's in them? A recent retesting of Mountain Valley water raised a few eyebrows, and this is why. Arsenic was detected in the water, though it was 40 times below the recommended limit. They also found trihalomethanes, a group of chemicals that form the byproducts during water treatment. These are about twice below the recommended level. Several other chemicals were also found, all technically within safe limits. But here's the unsettling part. Even though everything was below the recommended amount, why are these chemicals present at all in something as basic and essential as bottled water? It really makes you wonder how clean is clean and how much we actually know about the things we put into our
We
bodies
tested their
every
5-gallon
day.
glass bottle option last month. Here's what we found inside. There were a total of 10 contaminants along with 8 beneficial minerals detected. However, the most alarming part was arsenic at 40 times the recommended health guidelines, which could be carcinogenic, neurotoxic, and cause reproductive issues. However, it was detected below legal limits. There was also 2 times the health guideline of total trihalomethanes, along with the maximum recommended amount of nitrates.
Rich layer. I'm going to look that up right now. We report the discovery in the Greenland ice sheet of a discrete layer of free nanodiamonds in very high abundances, implying most likely either an unprecedented influx of extraterrestrial material or a cosmic impact event that occurred after the last glacial episode. From that layer, we extracted N-diamonds and hexagonal diamonds, lonstellite. So they got both of them. They found them in the Greenland ice sheet. An accepted ET impact indicator at abundances up to about 5 million times background level. 5 times 10 to the 6, 5 million times background levels in adjacent, younger, and older ice.
What the fuck is going on in Virginia, y'all? Virginia has over 3,200 kids missing as of this year, and 35 kids within the last 2 weeks, y'all. And guess what, y'all? There's no major headlines on this whatsoever. So I need y'all to share this with as many people as you can. We need to get this shit out. This story needs to come out right now. I'm trying to understand, how does this happen? How does this go under the radar? From January 1st to August 12th, state police has reported over 3,245 missing children across the state. And since the start of August, 35 kids gone. That's 35 families waking up every day to these kids runaways. Are they in custody? Or are they being the T-word? I'm starting to think, like, is this some little corruption going on behind closed doors? Like they organizing this shit? How many of these kids that disappeared, case gets off? And how many quietly fade into like some cold files or some shit? We always hear, protect the kids. But if we're 8 months in, and we already lost 3,200 children, what is it going to look like by the end of this year? Because it can be your brother, your cousin, your sister. It could be anybody in your family that could be one of these missing people in Virginia. This can happen anywhere.
Why isn't anybody talking about the fact that there has been a mass kidnapping in Virginia? From August 1st till today, August 12th, 50 children have gone missing in Virginia. There are no news stories speaking about this. There are no higher officials speaking about this. This is We're not going to sit here and act like this is not happening. Look at all these children. Why hasn't there been any news coverage? Look at all of these kids, man. Come on, y'all. For real. All of these children are missing. No news coverage. Nobody's saying anything. Right here, man. You're going to sit right here. This don't make no sense, man. A mass kidnapping. Who's taking all these children? Apparently something is going on in Virginia that we do not know about. But people need to see this. Higher officials need to see this. Higher officials need to hear about this. For real.
Ever wonder how a corporation can break the law, get caught, go out of business, and still be running next year? It's called the corporate shell game. Here's how it works. Step 1. Create a bunch of subsidiaries with boring, forgettable names. These are just paper companies. No office, no employees, no real product. Step 2. When the parent company gets caught dumping chemicals, defrauding customers, or price fixing, they say, oh no, that wasn't us. That was subsidiary XYZ. Step 3. Declare bankruptcy for the subsidiary. The fines get wiped, the lawsuits vanish, the executives move on like nothing happened. Meanwhile, the real company just moves the assets, patents, and contracts to a different subsidiary. DuPont did it with Chemours, Johnson & Johnson did it with Old Consumer. Both avoided billions in cancer lawsuits. It's legal, it's deliberate, it's designed so corporations can commit crimes like a hitman wearing disposable gloves. Corporate world, there's no such thing as justice.
We
There's
won
just paperwork.
on the Sydney Sweeney issue. She did not make any statement. She didn't come out and, speak out against American Eagle or the ad or apologize for it. She didn't make some statement about Trump. American Eagle did not do that either. And the left then tried to spin it to say that we made up their outrage. That actually they weren't outraged at all. It was totally fine. We were the ones who started it. Like, that's how you know that we came out on top. On the right are straight up lying and exaggerating purely for clicks and engagements. You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? People on X, on the right, are now tacking this whole Sydney Sweeney controversy on the things that sororities have been doing for years. So, if you don't know, in sorority culture in the United States, there is something that is called rush, and that is how you get into the sorority. And on big day, they do a whole big party, and they make videos, they post them on social media, everybody's dressing up. This year, the right has decided that these things are actually sororities responding to the Sydney Sweeney controversy and saying the ranking is dead. At the University of Alabama is going viral for wearing jeans in their latest recruiting video. Sydney Sweeney has opened the door for women across America to celebrate pure American guys. They have millions upon millions of views, and they're coming from these accounts that post like MAGA and like right-wing news updates. A lot of them are coming from the same original account, and then other people are reposting them with their own captions that are very similar, as you saw, like breaking news. Like when people mock us, when they make fun of us, and they say, look how ridiculous these right-wingers are, that is why.
This 6.3 magnitude earthquake that just hit in Indonesia, if you think it doesn't affect you because you live in the United States or a different country, you might be mistaken on that. Because that Indonesian earthquake happened in the Ring of Fire is a group of volcanoes, dormant and active, that start in South America, go all the way up through North America, around Asia, Russia, down to Australia. And there has been a ton of earthquake and volcanic activity all around the Ring of Fire for the past couple of months. And the earthquake in New Guinea is, like I said, in the area of the Ring of Fire, which also includes Mount Rainier in Washington, where last month, in one day, there were 300 earthquakes around that mountain. Now, I think the biggest one was around 4.2 magnitude, but 300 earthquakes in one day? Also, there's this volcano, which is a couple hundred miles off the Oregon coast, and it's been having a ton of activity, including 1,000 earthquakes in the span of magnitude earthquakes, but still earthquakes, 1,000 or so in about a week. So this Indonesian volcano is just another in a series around or near or in the Ring of Fire that have been going on, far more active in the past couple of months than in the past couple of years. Okay, Booshkies, I just want to keep you updated on this whole thing. Shabadoo.
As we warned last week, Typhoon Pottle has slammed into Taiwan with dangerous force, making landfall in Taitung County with wind gusts reaching 191 kilometers per hour. More than 5,500 people have been evacuated, and schools, businesses, and government offices across 9 cities and counties are shut. All domestic flights and over 100 international routes have been canceled, while ferry and rail services in the south have stopped. Kaohsiung and Pingtung could see up to 600 millimeters of rain through Thursday, bringing an extreme risk of flooding and landslides. Power lines are already down in multiple areas. Waves are pounding the coastline, and military units are on standby for rescues. This comes just weeks after southern Taiwan was drenched by back-to-back storms, leaving the ground saturated and more vulnerable. Pottle is now cutting across the island toward the Taiwan Strait, lashing coast to coast with torrential rain and destructive winds.
It's quite literally on fire. And before you say that it's summer and that this is normal, no. What is happening right now is beyond normal. We're talking nearly double the amount of land burned compared to the 20-year average, and it's only August. Southern France, Croatia, Turkey, Bulgaria, they're all roasting in temperatures up to 12 degrees above the seasonal normal for this time of the year. That is not just a hot day at the beach, that's bone-dry forest, dead crops, and perfect recipes for disasters. This year alone, over 400,000 acres in Europe have gone up in flames. Forests, homes, entire communities have been wiped out, and those aren't just the usual Mediterranean hotspots. Honestly, these fires are now hitting places that have barely seen fires in centuries. This is a feedback loop of extreme heat, extreme drought, extreme damage, and if the system creating this chaos doesn't change, next summer won't just break records, it will break lives. Look around. The Earth isn't just warming, it's warning us. All I'm seeing right now is a toxic mix. Heat waves that last longer and hit harder. Droughts that dry everything to dust. Pests that survive all year and
Nebraska
are killing the trees.
lightning and Wisconsin floods, and the global pulse of engineered weather. Last night, Nebraska skies erupted in one of the most intense lightning storms in memory. Bolts firing in rapid succession, clouds glowing from within as if supercharged by an invisible hand. The sheer density and frequency of the strikes defied the limits of natural atmospheric discharge. The night before, Wisconsin was hit with a flood event of historic proportions. Milwaukee alone received over 14.5 inches of rain, submerging streets to the rooftops of vehicles and shattering the Milwaukee River's all-time record. Entire neighborhoods were inundated within hours. On the surface, these appear to be two separate and unrelated events, but the radar tells another story. X-rad reflectivity maps captured pulsing, symmetrical bursts embedded in both systems, the unmistakable fingerprints of electromagnetic interference. The clouds themselves were visibly pulsing, charged by sustained energy injections. These were not random fluctuations or quirks of the radar. They were precision bursts of power into the atmosphere. This is the result of a global operation. Facilities from Harp in Alaska to the South Pole Station, along with countless classified transmitters and satellites, working in concert to hijack the atmosphere. Every nation with the capability is contributing to the same sustained charge field, yet the public is told it's just nature behaving badly. Meteorologists will call them once-in-a-thousand-year storms, stalled fronts, or unseasonable moisture. But they're not trained in atmospheric warfare. They read from prepared scripts, interpreting within the boundaries of an approved narrative. They're not taught how to identify scalar pulses, beam convergence, or the electromagnetic signatures that reveal an engineered storm system. I've covered this stuff for years, and I can see it, and the evidence is right in front of us.
Alaska is not being Alaska right now. And look at this. All the snow is pretty much melted off. This has been the most bizarre winter I've ever experienced. Last night it was a complete rain, windstorm, dumping rain, wind blowing 100 miles an hour. And bro, it's been like over 45 degrees. And this has effectively pretty much melted up all the snow off the streets. And all you really have is like your snow, like where they pile snow up. Even those are getting smaller and smaller and melting away. For it to be
Do you know where public schools buy their food from for lunches?
System.
Ollie. From the Department of Defense.
What?
DOD. It's a total scheme. To where Department of Defense, they go out to these food companies and they get the contracts and then they turn around and sell it to the public school systems. They are in complete control over this profit line.
Oh, that's scary.
I think they said that the school lunches is the only thing that's profitable in public schools.
That would make sense.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
But like hiking up prices and like choice, like the school doesn't have a say in what they can get for lunch. They are totally dependent on the Department of Defense to provide the food.
Interesting.
It's just weird.
That is
like,
super weird.
Department of Defense controlling the school lunches I thought was super weird.
Yeah, I guess I'm ignorant to that connection because that doesn't make sense to me.
Just the man wanting to get some moolah.
Or exactly.
The US right
also type of any type of freaking chemicals they want.
MK Ultra. Brainwashing.
You know what MK? The K stands for kindergarten. It'll start.
That looks like a coffee maker on the counter behind you. Are you a coffee fan?
I am. What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're walking over to the coffee maker. Are you planning to make some coffee?
I am. Can you tell me what type of machine this is?
It looks like an espresso machine. Do you usually make espresso or regular coffee with it?
Espresso. What type of espresso machine? Can you tell that?
It's a bit hard to tell the exact brand from here, but it resembles a semi-automatic espresso machine with a built-in grinder. Do you enjoy making espresso at home?
I do.
That's awesome. Making espresso at home can be a great ritual. Do you have a favorite coffee blend or type of beans you prefer?
I do. I get it.
visual of a woman empowered. Not just any power, it was a visual of a woman now at the top of the food chain. Not to mention the obvious, that look that Frida has specifically is Oprah's signature. The most obvious one to me personally is her name, Frida. Frida not only was a victim of SA, but when she had the choice to end it all by saving the woman that she was assaulted with and went through everything with, literally fought beside, she ended up saving Slaughter. Why? I'll tell you. Frida didn't give a at all about the abuse. She didn't care. Frida had one goal in mind, to be in charge. Therefore, she'll feed all those monsters if she gets the opportunity. And baby, did she. Not only did she befriend her perpetrators, but she now leads them. She is now the top dog. She is now top advise everyone to look into Oprah's school for young girls in South Africa and the very unsettling, disturbing truth behind it. Also, please look into what the parents themselves are saying about the school. Actually, I'll go ahead and drop some down so you can read them. If you guys think Frida is B, or if she's Cassie, or character vibes,
Was that real? I don't know, they ain't seen no AI thing on there. Oh, snap. Would y'all go through the portal? I don't know if I'd go through that portal.
So, this is one of the most advanced robots you're ever going to come across. It's a humanoid robot developed by Clone Robotics, with about 206 polymer bones mirroring the same number of bones in your body. Why are we bringing it up again? Well, some think this robot, named Proto-Clone, is the first step to developing our own series of Terminator robots that will end all human life. You saw it here the first time we shared it, and you're seeing it again now. So what do you think?